Hi, I'm Yvonne Prin with Bible 805, and today we are going on with talking about Jesus, some of the things that Jesus said during his last days on earth. And this next one, chapter 23, this is day 12 of our reading plan in going through the Bible. Again, Matthew 23, and it's entitled in many Bibles, The Seven Woes. And it is really a rather depressing chapter in that he's talking about the errors and the things to watch out for with the teachers of the law. And he starts out by saying, the teachers of the law and the Pharisees sit in Moses' seat. You must obey them and do everything they tell you, but do not do what they do, for they do not practice what they preach. Everything they do is done for men to see. And how tragic that is, that those who are known as the teachers of God's law, that God himself on earth, Jesus' judgment of them is that they do not practice what they preach. And he goes on and he details what they're doing wrong. He says, you don't enter the kingdom of God and you don't allow others to enter also. You're blind guides. You say that if anyone swears by the temple, it means nothing. If anyone swears by the gold in the temple, he's bound to it. And again, they are chastised because they love wealth and they consider money the most important thing. And he goes on to say, you tithe even little things like spices, but you've neglected the more important matters of the law. Listen to the three things that he lists here: justice, mercy, and faithfulness. And this should have recalled to them back in Micah, where God said, what does the Lord require? And Jesus has brought this point up a number of times in his ministry, but what does the Lord require? And in Micah 6:8, where it says to do justice, to love kindness, to love mercy, and walk humbly with your God. And he's saying, you've gotten so picky on little things that you neglect the really big, important things. And he goes on, I mean, he just doesn't let up. He goes on and he calls them whitewashed tombs where you appear on the outside righteous, but you're full of wickedness inside, that you're snakes. And it just continues to really beat up on them. And then a couple of things in conclusion that he says is he talks about how he wanted so much. This is his woe over Jerusalem, where he says, or his lament over Jerusalem, where he says, Jerusalem, Jerusalem, I wanted so much to gather you like a hen gathers her chickens, and you kept refusing me. And it's breaking his heart to do that. And then one last thing, I want to jump back to actually verse 11 of this chapter, and conclusion, and sort of an emphasis on, in contrast to all of these things, rejecting Jesus, focusing on the little things, considering money the most important. Instead, what he says is, the greatest among you must be your servant. For whoever exalts himself will be humbled, and whoever humbles himself will be exalted. To be a true, good, and godly leader for Jesus means you're a servant. You do whatever you can do to serve your people. That might be all kinds of things. Today, it might be having the courage to put out some videos, even though it's kind of scary to do that, or go on social media, or to text people when you don't think you ever want to text. But whatever serves our people, whatever is the best way to reach them, that's what we want to do, to really be teachers and servants of Jesus.